Howdy peeps, I'm back. Hello, I've missed you guys. Have you missed me? Yeah, as you can tell, a bit of a change of look. Last time you saw me, I had long blonde hair down to here, and I did decide to get a haircut and had some layers put in. It didn't quite go to plan. I ended up looking like a friggin' mushroom, so I had to cut it off. So this is my look. So I'm kind of rocking like a bit of a Marilyn sort of 50s pin-up brunette vibe. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm now getting used to it, and I'm really liking it. So yeah, back to the natural colour. Hello. It's been a while. I'm so sorry for the absence. If you're new here, by the way, I'm Lois. I'm a mindset and empowerment coach. Sorry if I just banged the microphone. I'm not used to wearing one. Yeah, I'm a mindset and empowerment coach. I'm also a full-time van lifer, and I explain how manifestation works and how to do it as a conscious manifester. So there's a few different playlists. If you want to go and explore them, see what floats your boat, please do. And also while you're there, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be part of this community. Come on in. You're all welcome. Just a heads up, though, I do tend to swear a bit, but the most honest, trustworthy people do. So, so yeah, if you're okay with that, you can get on board with that. You are going to love it in this community. And obviously to all my current followers, subscribers, hello. It's nice to see you again. I hope you've all been keeping well. And as I say, I know it's been a really long time, but I've had a lot going on. There's been so many things personally that I've been going through. I've had to really try and focus more on my career path, which I'm very excited to share a few little tidbits about. And I will share those at the end, because I've got some really, really exciting stuff coming up for 2026. So I will share that at the end of the video. So please stay watching if you want to catch up with that. Obviously, if you can't be asked, then fast forward to the end. Up to you. I don't mind. Anyway, yes. I have recently come back from a trip to Skye, where I went up for New Year. I went straight after Christmas and went up to there with my friend Sarah. We had the best time, and it all happened on a whim because I saw a post on Facebook about a river where if you dunk your face in for 7 seconds, you are blessed with eternal beauty. I don't know, what do you think? Did it work? So yeah, we basically went all the way to the Isle of Skye just to do that. But we also did lots of other things as well. And I have to say, our most common phrase of the whole holiday was, would you just fucking look at that? Because the views, the scenery, the experience, everything was just outstanding. So if you've never been, please go. And if you are a resident of the Isle of Skye, you lucky, lucky bastards. I will be back in May. I'm coming back in May. So yeah, so that's pretty much it in terms of me. So let's get on with today's video. As you can see from the title, self-abandonment. It's been a very key thing for me for a lot of my life, but it really came to a head for me recently with a certain situation. And I think I've been able to navigate this kind of topic in other areas of my life with regards to friendships, with work, with family, which tend to be, you know, they tend to be the three main ones, right? It's your relationships with other people, it's your relationships with your family, and it's your relationships with work. And those are the three main areas that we tend to self-abandon the most. So let's get into what self-abandonment really is. So a lot of times, and certainly because of pressure from, I guess, society and, you know, family, parents, peers, we're often told to maybe, you might have heard these phrases, things like, oh, just do it to keep the peace. Oh, but it'll make them so happy if you were to do that. Oh, but, you know, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You know, basically, you get your feelings minimized for the satisfaction of someone or something else. You know, oh, you could just stay working late, it won't matter, you know, it's fine, it's just once or twice a week. You know, that's how it starts. It's a slippery slope. And I guess it feeds into previous videos I've done about boundaries and about your self-worth and self-respect. And if this is something that's conditioned into you as a child, you're going to grow up always self-abandoning yourself. You're going to always diminishing your needs for the sake of others, to make others happy. Now, it could be that a parent has put that upon you. It could be because of siblings. You know, it's always a case of, you know, you have to share your toys, you have to give up your sweets, you have to give up your bedroom, you have to do all of this to please your siblings. Even in school, you know, you have to sacrifice the subjects that you really enjoyed, like music and dance, in order to do the things that your teachers or your parents wanted you to pursue. And these are all forms of self-abandonment, because at the end of the day, this is your life. And when you're younger, you don't always have the capabilities, the experience, the awareness to actually fight against this and to push back and say no. Now, if you're like me as a child, you were very stubborn and you were quite good at kicking back. I was very much, you won't freaking tell me what to do. I want to do this thing. I'm doing this thing. But not everybody's like that. And even someone like me who was very defiant and very, you know, very forthright, I still struggled with self-abandoning in terms of my emotional needs, because I always wanted to make people happy. And people pleasing is a really big self-abandonment, when you're always putting other people's needs before your own, when you're always trying to make others happy, you know, while sacrificing your own needs. And it's so destructive to our well-being, to our mental health, to our emotional health, and it can be to our physical health. So basically what I'm hoping this video will do is help you identify maybe where you are in your life in terms of, are you self-abandoning, and where are you self-abandoning, why it's maybe happening, and how you can change it, so that you can ultimately change the way you feel and the way others treat you. And believe it or not, it's going to change the way your life starts to unfold. So, as I mentioned, the typical types of self-abandonment, there can actually be avoidance. So you might want to avoid conflict or avoid bringing certain topics up with people. It can be that you don't express your needs, that you stay small, you know, to fit in with people. Maybe you don't want to stand out so much, and so you don't express your opinions. You follow what everybody else says and does. It can also be overgiving, oversharing, you know, expending all of your energy, pouring into other people, into other things instead of to yourself. And as mentioned, these definitely apply with work, family, and your friends and romantic relationships. And a lot of the times those things have all stemmed from a place within ourselves where we don't feel seen and heard and understood. We maybe don't feel appreciated. We don't have the confidence, and perhaps we lack some self-worth, that we feel if we express our needs, that we will be shunned, or we will be told off, we will be criticized, we will be ignored, abandoned, neglected. You know, I'm sure so many times people have heard, oh, if you don't do this, I won't speak to you again. I've had friends do that to me so often when I was at school. You know, even in partnerships, you know, you go to do something and maybe your partner will say, oh, if you do that, then we're finished. It's manipulation at the end of the day. People don't know they're even doing it, but it is a form of manipulation. It's a form of control. And it's not very pleasant. But essentially, one thing you have to understand is when people are trying to do that, it's not from necessarily a place of narcissism or maliciousness. Sometimes it comes from their own lack of self-worth and their own insecurities, and because they've also gone through similar things in their upbringing. So they're just projecting that onto you, because a sense of control can make us feel safe. You know, when we can control our environment and we control the people around us, we tend to feel a little bit more safe and secure with things, because unpredictability and ambiguity can be really unnerving to our nervous system. You know, when we don't know where we stand, when we don't understand what's going on, when we don't know, you know, if we're doing this or that, we don't know if, you know, a good one that I've picked up is for a lot of people with ADHD, neurodivergence, is a thing called, it's a rejection sensory disorder. And I've had this, and this may resonate with you guys, where if someone, say for instance, your boss says, can we have a little chat later? Your immediate reaction is, I'm going to get fired. I've done something wrong. You know, your partner says, oh, can we have a little chat later? You instantly think they're going to dump me. Your friend says, oh, we need to have a little chat later. You think they're going to tell you something terrible. Your parents tell it. You think automatically it's negative. Always straight to the negative. Something is wrong. I've done something wrong. I'm in trouble. I'm bad. And it's a form of rejection that we're experiencing it's perceived rejection, because we don't know. You know, your boss might say, I want to have a quick chat, because he might want to say, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, I saw what you did today and I'm really proud of you. It could be a friend that says, I just want to have a little chat. I've just realized that, you know, I don't actually like this person anymore and I don't know what to do. So it's got nothing to do with you. It can even be your partner saying, I want to have a little chat. And they might just want to say, listen, I've got a problem at work and I just wanted to get your advice. Again, most of the time, it never has anything to do with us, but we project that and we perceive that because of our own issues that we have around not sticking up for ourselves, perhaps. So we have to identify in key moments when something is a perceived reality and when it really is happening. And what I mean by this is we can perceive that we're being rejected. We can perceive that we're not being valued and we're not being liked. We can perceive that maybe, you know, we're being used or things like that, when actually we're not. We're just reading a little too much into it. And this is where that form of expression and not abandoning yourself is a good thing, because if you're able to express and you can clearly say to someone, hey, I'm just kind of feeling this out, but everything okay? And you can express that prepared for whatever they may say. But if we have fears of rejection and abandonment, we will quite often not do that because we just don't want to face it. And again, this is a type of avoidance, right? It's that fear of being rejected or being abandoned. It's the fear of being criticized, the fear of not feeling good enough and having it affirmed right to our face that someone says, actually, yeah, I don't want to date you anymore. Or actually, yeah, I did think your work was a bit shit. We don't want to hear that, but we have to, because that's how we grow. That's how we can evolve. So it's a very key part for us all to take accountability and responsibility. We have to take accountability for the feelings that are coming up with inside of us, because nobody is doing anything to you. Nobody is actively hurting you. Nobody is doing anything to you. It's essentially a bit like some people will really push our buttons and trigger us. But all it is, it's like we have a wound and someone comes over and goes, well, we feel the pain inside of us, but they haven't caused the pain as such. The pain is there because of the wound. They just poked it. So when you blame and you project and you say that person did this and that person's at fault, then you're actually giving away your power, because all the power lies within inside of us. When you take accountability and you say, okay, I'm not speaking up for myself. I'm not speaking up for my needs. So of course that person is going to keep doing what they're doing because they think I'm okay with it. My boss isn't going to treat me any better if I don't turn around and say, hey, I think it's unfair the way you're treating me. I think it's unfair that you pay me less than my colleagues when I do more. You know, saying to your partner, I feel like you don't value me because you never really spend time with me. I feel unappreciated because you spend more time with your friends than with me. I don't feel loved by, you know, my family because they're always criticizing me. And being able to say, hey, you know, when you criticize me, it makes me feel like shit. I understand maybe where you're coming from, but is there a way that perhaps we can discuss this in future where you're not blaming me and accusing me and, you know, just making me feel like crap? Having that ability to express your needs clearly, confidently, and assertively without overdoing the emotions, without getting all hysterical and chaotic, just to clearly, directly express how you're feeling without blaming the other person and expressing what you need in order to feel better. And here's the other thing. The responsibility then lies with you based on the other person's reaction. If they are willing to work with you, if your partner's like, geez, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you felt like that. Okay, cool. Let's get together. Let's work something out. What could we do? Let's have a date night every week. Let's make sure we talk more. Let's spend more time together. If your family are saying, oh my God, I had no idea that I was doing that. Thank you for raising that. I was so unaware. Okay, I'll try and be more vigilant. And when I do it again, you know, let me know. You know, whatever the situation, even with, you know, work colleagues, you have to speak up and say, listen, I don't think it's very fair the way that you're treating me. And I'd like to work with you on how to do that. Now, if the other person's response isn't forthcoming, if they get defensive, if they try and get even more manipulative and controlling, if they try and blame you and say it's your fault, well, you feel like this, it's not my problem. Oh, I'm not doing anything to you. You're just obviously oversensitive. Oh, you're just being too much. Oh, you're just, when someone starts to push the blame on you and deflect and doesn't take their own accountability and doesn't hear you, it's your responsibility to then choose whether you carry on giving that your energy and your time or whether you pull it back. Because this is where the self-abandonment really kicks in. When you keep giving to situations and to people that do not reciprocate, are not willing to work with you, are not even willing to look at themselves and how they behave, because it's not just with you. Generally, these people behave like this with everybody. It's not just a you thing. But you bringing this up, you having that confidence and that self-worth and that knowing your value to bring this up, to bring this to light, can sometimes be the catalyst for their change and their growth and their healing. So you're actually doing yourselves a favor. You're helping them and you're helping yourself. And often, most people will respond kindly and they will want to work with you and they will be mortified. They did not realize most people are not fucking self-aware. Let's face it. A lot of people don't sit with themselves. They don't reflect upon how they're behaving in the world and how they're treating other people and even how they're treating themselves. So a lot of people don't know that they have these quirks, these issues. And sometimes bringing it to the forefront is the start for healing. And this is where the greatest change happens. This is where you start to really build your confidence. Because when you do it once and you get a good reaction, that will encourage you to do it more often. And so when the time comes that you get a negative reaction, you will have built enough, don't know what the right choice of words is here, but enough resolve, enough self-worth, enough value in yourself that if that reaction from the other person isn't loving and caring and willing to work with you, you will have the confidence to walk away, to step back, to disengage. Because sometimes that is essentially what is needed. Because if you are constantly giving and giving to situations and to people that are not reciprocating back, you are draining yourself constantly. You are making yourself small. You are dimming your light. You are shrinking to fit into situations and places and with people that really should want to help you grow and expand and bloom and should want to do that with you. And that's really the transformation. Because when you start removing the things and the people and the places that you know are draining you and are just not fulfilling you, you start to make space for the things that really do. You start to spend more time with the people that do light you up, that do support you. You might even go as far as, I'm going to change jobs, I'm going to change careers, I'm going to follow my passions. You know what? And it's really hard to start, removing people from your life, if it's family, especially. If it's friends, if it's partners, it's hard. And I'm not saying that this is easy. It's definitely not. I've cried fucking bucket loads over the amount of people that I've had to walk away from in the last couple of years. And even recently, people that I love with every fiber of my being, but where there was no reciprocity and I couldn't see that there was any willingness for them to even try to level up, to grow, to build and to work with me, it left me no option but to step back and to walk away and to let it go. And maybe that will be the catalyst for their growth and their change. And if so be it, if people come back into your life, great. But you also have to understand that some people will come back because they miss the way you made them feel. They miss your energy because your energy is so valuable. When you're somebody who can light up a room, when you're somebody who is really giving and loving and caring and supportive, that is so valuable. And you have to recognize those qualities in you. You have to literally look yourself in the eye, look in the mirror And tell yourself how fucking awesome you are. What a beautiful person you are. How kind you are. How loving and giving you are. And then really ask yourself if who you're giving your time and energy to really is able to return that back. And it's not about, I'm only going to give it to the people that give back. It's just a case of, is this fulfilling? Is this helping me grow? Is this expanding me? Is this lighting me up? Or is it draining me? Because if something is not adding to your life, it is taking away. And that's one of the hardest things for us to really get our heads around, is really reflecting on the people, the situations and the places and the circumstances that are not in alignment with who we are and what we need. And your needs matter. And I don't mean that in an, I'm not talking in a needy way of like, well, if this person doesn't do what I say, then, it doesn't make me happy. Because you should never be like that. Never, ever rely on anything outside of you to make you happy. You have it all inside of you. You're the reason that relationship is so amazing. You're the reason that, when you meet up with your friends, that you always have a good time. It comes from inside of you. So you can feel happy and sad whenever you want. You don't need another person. You don't need a shitty job. You don't need, bills and debts to feel shit. Likewise, you don't need other people. You don't need money. You don't need success to be happy and to feel fulfilled in this life. Your fulfillment can come from so many ways. If you can hear that, it's really stormy today and I'm terrified that my motorhome is going to tip over, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen. It's been like this all night and I've been shitting bricks. So, side note. But yeah, it's a really hard thing to do, but at the same time, it's also pretty easy once you identify it. And I would start really asking yourself, do the self-reflection. First, look at all the wonderful things about you. If you want to, make a list. Write down everything that is so wonderful and special about you. Now look at all the people and the situations in your life that you pour all of that into. All of your love, all your care, all your support and your consideration. How much time and energy are you putting into those things? You can do it as a percentage or whatever. How much time are you really giving to your job? How much time do you devote to your family? How much time do you devote to your friends? How much to your hobbies? And how much time are you devoting to you? It's going to scare you when you really look at it. Because the more, really, you should be the number one priority. You should be pouring more into yourself than into everyone else. Because otherwise you are just simply giving from an empty cup. And as I said, if people are not reciprocating that same level back, maybe they just can't. Maybe they don't have the capacity for it. And that's fine. That's not their fault. Don't blame them for it. Just recognize that I can't keep giving to that because it's just constantly draining me and I can't do that. And so you just stop. So identify that area first. What's not giving back to you to the same degree? Work out, okay, so, are my family really supportive? Do I have a really good group of friends? Is my job really fulfilling me? Is it satisfying me? Am I getting the best out of it? Am I growing as a person, being surrounded by these people, interacting, with my colleagues in this environment? Is this really what I want to do with my life? Is this my passion? Is this really making me happy? Could I make more money somewhere else? And even in your relationships, your romantic relationships, is this really the right person for me? And I'm not trying to break anybody up, for God's sake, but you've really got to get clear. And if this person is the love of your life and you really want to work on it and you think it's worth fighting for, then even more reason not to self-abandon. Even more reason to really start sticking up for yourself and saying, hey, I've got needs too. Can you work with me on this? And also then identifying, once you've gone through that series and you've worked out, what are you giving too much time to? Rebalance that. Start giving more to yourself, more self-care, more time with yourself, more love to yourself, less to the things that don't reciprocate in the same way. So if you're giving 80% to your work, but your work is not fulfilling you, there's a clear answer there. If you're giving 100% to your partner all day, every day, and they're only giving you like 20%, come on. You've really got to be brutally honest with yourselves. And then the subtle changes, working out how you can shift that balance, where you can start to give more to yourself. And this is easy. Start doing more of the things that you love, more of the things you enjoy. Be with the people that light you up. Be with the people that really get you, understand you, support you. And that could mean that you have to start finding new people to hang around with. Networking, going to different events, joining different groups, starting up different hobbies, meeting like-minded people who share the same vision and the same passions as you do. Because we are the sum of the people we hang around with. So if you're hanging around with people who don't have much ambition and no goals in life, that's going to affect you. If you're constantly giving to family who only ever criticize and demean you while putting other people on a pedestal, it's just going to make you feel more shit. So stop hanging around with the things that make you feel shit and start associating yourself with things that actually light you up and make you feel good. Even if that's just walking in nature, if it's just like sitting at home, reading a book with your dog, hanging out with the people that you really value, watching a sunrise, whatever really lights you up, that's where to put your energy and your focus and your time. Start pouring into you and stop abandoning your needs to make other people happy, because it's not your job to fix other people. It's not your job to be their happiness. It's not your job to make their lives easier. It's theirs. And it's also your job to make yours better. So I hope this video has helped. I did want it to be shorter, but it is what it is. So there you go. And yes, I will be back with another video very soon. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Oh, I forgot to say, the things that I've got coming up. Okay, I'll be really, really quick. So I am developing an app that is going to have regular challenges on it. And it's going to have meditations, it's going to have affirmations, real like rampages that will get you fired up. And it's going to have a series of courses that you can actually purchase inside the app. So you can also track your progress. And these will be based on some of the topics that I've discussed in the videos. So I've got that coming up soon. So I will let you know when that gets released. And I'm also going to be running a retreat this summer. I'm just working out venues and dates, so that will be announced soon. It is, sorry fellas, but it's an empowered women's retreat. Now, I would love to run a retreat for men or for couples. If this is something that you would be interested in and you would sign up to, don't just say, yeah, sounds like a great idea, and then don't fucking sign up for it, because that's going to be a waste of my time and energy. So I really want to know, because I want to work with more men. I've had more response on this channel from men than from women. I seem to have really resonated with a lot of guys here. And I would love to work more with men in terms of helping them build stronger connection to themselves, because the reason that there is this loneliness epidemic, it's not loneliness, it's disconnection. You're just not connected to yourselves anymore. You've been very programmed and conditioned by society, and it's time to get back to the truth of who you really are. So I would love to run a men's empowerment retreat, where we also focus on how to build better relationships with your partners, with your family, with your children, with your siblings. And yeah, if this is something that you would really be into, let me know. I will be probably opening up more retreats fairly soon. But as I say, this one is going to be for empowered women. So I will share details of that with you very soon. But your input, as always, is so valuable. So please do comment down below. Let me know what you think. Because as much as my telepathy is pretty good, I'm not a mind reader of the whole entire universe. So, right, on that note, I'm going to go. And I will catch up with you in the next video. Love you all. Take care. Much love. Bye.